All right, here we are at the end of week 2. This is day 14 of Confinamiento. Overall, it's been a very good week, more of a relaxed pace. Last week I was on the phone a lot, having a lot of conversations, getting my own thoughts about what was happening out there, listening to other people. This week it's been a lot more relaxed, focusing inward more. I've realized that it's more of a marathon, not a sprint. Even my job, I'm doing these things in shorter stints now, factoring in more downtime where I can do more or less whatever I feel like in that moment. Watching more movies, listening to more music, doing a lot more reading, even more so than I was last week. That said, I'm still planning my days very specifically, almost hour by hour. That way I maintain a good sense of structure and I stave off any sense of laziness or even a lack of motivation. So far, the only day that's been really tough was last Tuesday. I just had this unrelenting sense of restlessness, wanting to get outside, get my body moving, do something, be in the sun. The next day, my roommate Jorge and we went to the supermarket. We maximized our time outside. We took some detours, spent an extra 30 minutes walking around. I know that's not really cool, goes against the protocols, the concept of isolation, confinement. We had to do it for maintaining our own sanity that day. And so far it's been, the only exception. I've been doing yoga 6 days a week. Yoga with Adrian, I love you. In addition to the obvious benefits of doing yoga, it's helped me overcome my shoulder issue. Beginning, I think, my senior year of college, I was doing a lot of chest workouts back when I was more of a meathead. And I think I did some minor shoulder damage, rounding of the shoulder. That issue got worse when I was living out in Hawaii, surfing a lot almost every day, multiple times a day. I think I developed some sort of muscle overuse. Doing yoga has certainly helped. I feel like the shoulder is no longer hampering me. Also, every 2 or 3 days, I've been doing more intense workouts, typically following yoga. So for instance, I've been doing boxing workouts. It's inspired me to even join a gym or a martial arts club as soon as this confinamiento passes, assuming that it does come to pass and the world doesn't have a catastrophic ending. End of the world jokes aside, I feel very fortunate with my living situation. Here I feel like I have all my ducks in a row, so to speak. That's one of my mom's favorite expressions. I live with good people, I trust them, we all get along great. We all do our own thing too, so very healthy. The thought of returning to the States never really crossed my mind. It would take something incredibly dire and a terrible situation to force me to leave. Speaking about the world, Spain is still getting hammered. Over this past weekend, more deaths than at any other point during this pandemic. Italy with nearly 100,000 cases, close to 10,000 deaths. Tough to say if the measures are helping right away. Of course, there is going to be a delay because of the incubation period. After a matter of days, weeks, people start to develop more serious symptoms. They get to a critical stage. Eventually, we will start to see a flattening of the curve here, and things will get better. Until at least April 11th, we will be living with this cuarentena, with the quarantine. I can't mention the state of the world without mentioning the United States. On a federal level, there's been a very mixed response, even a disastrous one. There were experts within the federal government who had warned for weeks, even months ahead of time, that something bad was going to happen. I don't want to talk too much about politics just because it dominates the news cycle. It's still a very polarizing subject. I just want to say that I think some of the governors in certain states are doing a very good job, and certainly there seems to be dedicated local efforts. At 7 o'clock here every day, 7 o'clock in the evening, Spaniards have been coming out onto their balconies, their rooftops, applauding medical workers, people on the front lines. I want to do that now for those back in the United States who are also on the front lines. I think it's just remarkable, even with the shortage of medical equipment, personal protective equipment.